Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 225B of Tales with TR. I'm your host, Terry Ryan Jr., and I promised Andrew Peters I'm going to have him in a few days. The reason I don't have him is because I thought I was leaving tonight on a red eye or early in the morning, I suppose you could say. But I'm not. I'm leaving on a flight in 2 hours from now. So I'm going out to Tri-City. I'm bringing a bunch of books. If anybody wants one, come on down. Sign one for you. I only want to have a carry-on, so my bag is packed. I don't really want to bring the computer on the road. I mean, I can interview Nasty Marasti from wherever. I mean, because he's going out there with me to Tri-City. If you missed episode A, to drop the puck, we used to play in the Tri-City Americans of the WHL together. So today, I'm just going to answer some of your questions, and then I'm going to have Petey on next week and maybe Marasti. I'm going to have probably a week with two guests. So apologies, but there's not much I can do. Now, I figured I was just going to leave it, but I figured I'll get back to answering some questions for you guys that listen and take the time to write in. I should, and I do appreciate that. I don't always have the time to entertain it, though. So here we go. Simple questions. What do we got here? Oh, ATR exhibition, is it too long? That comes from Howie P in Yak. Howie, if you want to come to the game on Saturday night, I appreciate you listening, and I'll bring you something. I'll bring you a bookmark signed or whatever. If you want to buy a book, get off your fucking wallet, Howie. I'll sign that for you too. Just kidding, buddy. Yeah, but I got some bookmarks and I got old hockey cards from Tri and stuff. So, hey, not everybody, especially these days, man, with inflation and still coming off of COVID. I mean, a worldwide rebound is still happening. People lost their businesses and their way of life. A lot of people. So I get it, man. I get that not everybody has money to buy a book. So that's why I'm bringing some bookmarks and like I said, cards and stuff. And you guys can have that for free. Anyway, what do I think of exhibition? Is it too long? Well, exhibition is a funny. It's a mindset. It's almost a dichotomy of mindsets in that, like, it's almost awkward. What do you guys think when I watch the NHL now, especially when I see star players play an exhibition? It's almost cringe to me. Hopefully there's no injuries here. But, it happens. This year, it seems that it happened quite a bit. What I'm saying is that I remember coming in specifically to the WHL and the NHL. Those were, not that the American Hockey League wasn't a step, but I'd already been to NHL camp. So, like, it was a weird step backwards once you were at camp, even though it was a step up from junior. I love the AHL. It just, like, you get sent down to the AHL, right? Or I played in the coast too. You get sent there. Like, so actually I didn't get sent to the coast. I ended up signing there to try to come back and after my ankle. But anyway, or that. But I didn't consider it a step up. I'd played in the American League and the NHL for 3 years at that point. And to be quite honest with you, my experience in the WHL, if you look at the players that played in the WHL when I was there, with and against, I don't want to put down pro hockey, but I think at that time, I just, I found the WHL real hard, and I'm glad I succeeded, but there's a lot of wounds and bruises and blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. Not that it didn't in the coast, but I felt my experience in the dub, it was a better league than when I played in the coast, trying to rebound, come back after an ankle injury, all of that. It wasn't easy, but I just, it's watered down in the coast. Anyway, the point is, even though those are, men as opposed to boys in junior turning into men, I didn't go in. The AHL has camp, but if you're on NHL contract, you get demoted there at some point. Even if you're going to be demoted, you still had that inspirational, feeling of going into camp with all these stars, and even if you don't really do well, once you get the puck and every little thing that you do right is a bit of a rush. At least it was for me. Wow, I can give and take a pass with Saku fucking Koivu, man. That's wild, right? And then eventually it seeps into your head that you're one of them. And then this happens within a few days. You're still in awe of the veterans and stuff. But by the time you get sent to the minors, it's a little bit anticlimactic, for lack of a better way to put it. I can only speak for the exhibition that I took part in major, junior, and in the NHL because you're coming into a situation. There's veteran. You can't go any further than that. Like when I'm 16, 17, it's not like you're going to play in the NHL. So the WHL was the best possible. My first WHL camp, running around hitting everything. But at the same time, there are players like Jason Bowen who just came back. Jason was a first rounder in try a few years before me. I really, really looked up to that guy. Um, just big, tough, big fucking tough. Like I believe he probably got drafted for more because he was tough than anything. It was that era, and he could play forward or D. Big. I'm not going to say lanky, but he was just hard to get around. I remember in camp, like, and he wouldn't give you a free pass on a one-on-one. He loved that I was feisty. I mean, I was at camp with these guys when I was 14 and 15, right? And um, Bones ended up getting hurt. Jason ended up getting hurt. I don't know if it was camp, but I remember him missing most of camp. But anyway, guys like that, Todd Klassen, I speak of, God rest his soul. Todd's there, guys that just got drafted, even in the third, fourth, later rounds. I don't know, Chad Cabana, Ryan Marsh, guys that you probably, there was guys I played with that were veterans that were signed, Rob Butts. And the point is, you get to, Kimby Daniels was in Tri-City one year. I don't think he was there for camp. But anyway, I'm just naming you some older guys that, I came to camp. I look up to them, especially Jason Bowen and Todd Klassen, especially them. Like they were on their own island to me because they were high picks in the NHL and they were really commanding presences in the room, right? I get drafted there at 14, right? I don't fucking know. The Tri-City Americans bring me up to Kamloops to go in the dressing room with the guys, get to meet them. Like I said, once you're drafted, you're allowed to practice. You're just getting to play. You need like exemption status or whatever. And at 15, I ended up playing 2 or 3 games. One was in the playoffs, right? I told you that story about fighting Cal Hulse and everything. That was before I was technically old enough to be in the league. But once I was drafted at 14, I would practice. So I knew these guys. And I came in knowing unless something crazy happened, I was going to make the team, support their first round pick. But I remember that even going like, fuck, I got to go hard here. And like, guys, even a guy like, say, Corey Dosdall, right, who I don't think was drafted, but was a great junior player, right? You don't want to fuck him up in it, because he's probably going to be a free agent at the end of the year, or, he wants to sign an NHL deal or go to college or whatever it is. And it's going to only fucking set him backwards if I fucking run him and tear his MCL or something. Now, it's funny. When I was 16, I did tear my MCL running at a guy. So, well, it's glad it wasn't a girl back then. Running it. No, but I was running at some dude, man. Like he was a rookie like me. And so I would like go extra hard against those guys because I'm like, fuck it, I can hit him with all I got. But there was always be in my mind, fuck, I don't want to fuck up Bones going to camp or so. You know what I mean? You want to go hard. You want these guys' respect. And I had it. And, Todd, again, God rest his soul, was really good with me. He was captain. He was coming in and he would really work with me. He was a leader. He seemed like a true friend, like a big brother who actually cared rather than putting in the time, right? And Jason Bowen was the same way. And when I got to the NHL, guys, the Jason Bowens, the Todd Klassens, the Corey Dosdalls, now those guys in relative terms were like Pierre Turgeon, Mark Recchi, Vincent Damphus, guys that were there that, I had to respect, but you're at camp. It's NHL evaluation. Now, what do you do? So honestly, I used to go at those guys, honestly, and go hard, but go, hey, Rex, I'm coming. I'm going to hit your shoulder in. Wouldn't try to run them, but I can't look like I'm not trying. And I would never forgive myself after camp if I'm like, what the fuck am I doing giving these guys free passes? But I went extra hard at the younger guys, even if I knew they were going to be NHLers like Darcy Tucker or Aaron Ashton, one of my best friends. Fuck, if he's on the other team, though, I'm running him, right? And he's running me. And we'd fucking laugh about it, right? I like those situations. Guys that I was comfortable with. You know what? Fuck you, Tux. I'm going to wipe that smile off your face. Fuck you, Noof. Try it. I'm going to cross-check you in the fucking teeth. Fuck you. Like that sort of thing. But I couldn't really get on like that with the older guys. There was a level of respect you needed to give them. And that wasn't just off the ice. That was, hey, how you doing? Mr. Turgeon or whatever, like on the ice, right? These guys are in the middle of their career and, between contracts and wanting to make the All-Star team. And 97 was a Team Canada. 97, 98 was a Team Canada year, right? I remember being there, and Shane Corson ended up making, I think, he kind of snuck in. I think he didn't have a great year the year before, whenever it was, 95, 96, or 96, 97. And then, was it Nagano? I remember Course made that team. He fucking played awesome, and I really looked up to Course. And I just remember thinking to myself, these guys got a lot on their mind. It's not just a contract. It's not just playing in the NHL. It's legacy for some of them, right? So that's what I mean. And for them, they want to get reps, I'm assuming, right? When I put myself in that position, like my third or fourth camp coming back, or even like my third in junior, when you're a vet, you're going to make it, you've already been drafted, and you're in the same kind of position in relative terms as those guys in the NHL I just mentioned. But you still want your reps. At least I did. I hated to start the year without playing at all. That wouldn't, and it happened twice, like I said, because of injury. So I know what that feels like. But I don't know. I heard they're going to add. They're talking about adding games onto the regular season. That's fucking ludicrous, right? Come on, man. 82 games in hockey. I've often said it. Read the back part of the last section of Tales of a First Round Nothing, and it talks about it, man. Hockey's already, I think, too many games. They'll never go backwards, but it's a fucking grind. I know baseball's a grind, 162 games or whatever. It's baseball. I've gone through this before. Football. Yeah, man, it's real physical and everything else. What do they got? 17 games a fucking year, right? Sign me up for that. I'll take a shit kicking with two hands tied behind my back in a fucking dilapidated Mexican fucking prison for 17 times a year versus 80 fucking two. And now they're talking about 84 games. So 82 games, first of all, right? And then you got your 8 exhibition or something. So around that, it's 6 to 8. I think it's 8. So that gives you 90. Right? And then if you make the playoffs, so hockey players, man, fucking 100 games a year, it's fucking hard we're carrying a weapon. There's no out of bounds, right? You're skating as opposed to running, so you're going way faster. And, if I run out of room, I'm going to get fucking drilled. I can't run out of bounds, right? You can't do that. I'm not, it's obvious. So I know there's bigger players in football overall, and it's tough to get around out there, but, the plays stopped. There's, like I said, no out of bounds, less games. I just find hockey, for all the 4 major sports, what would the fourth be? Basketball, which I've often said, basketball is way underrated. Under that hoop, fucking, you go hard, like you're getting fucking elbows, punches in the head, fucking, the further you go back too. Look at my favorite era to watch was obviously Michael Jordan. I grew up with that, but like the Detroit Pistons at the time, man, they'd fucking take you out. They would fucking elbow you, fucking hurt you. It's still like that to a degree. And, not everybody in the NBA is 7 foot tall. There are people, I'm almost 6'1". There are people right around, 6'1", 2, 3. You're going up against those big guys. Fuck, man. It's not easy. I get it. And they do play a lot of games. But still, like I said, we have no out of bounds. And what's keeping you in bounds is a fucking wall. Or hard glass. At least it used to fucking plexiglass. It's hard glass, right? And the average size in the NHL is bigger than when I played. I think the average now it was 6'1", 195. I was right on it, I remember. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm exactly average. And it's fucking now it's like 6'2", 210, right? So hockey is a fucking hard sport. As far as exhibition, I don't know. Maybe an answer could be, keep the games. The other thing is the owners love the fucking exhibition because they're charging money to get in and they're not having to pay anybody, right? And look at these markets. Some markets, no one's going to go if you see I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm guessing exhibition in Columbus is probably not the same as Montreal or Toronto where it's sold out, right? You see the game Line A got hurt in the other night. They're exactly what I'm talking about, right? Well, that game was sold out. So owners love that shit. So it's going to be tough to ever go backwards, but like in games played. But I don't know. I'm cringe. I didn't like the thought of exhibition. As a young kid, I loved it. And looking back, my NHL experience, I'm glad there was exhibition because a lot of that was when I got to wear the jersey, and I played a little bit in the regular season, but like in exhibition, I scored a few goals. I remember the one year. Now, Montreal did have that attitude back then. Like now, I think. Well, the point is, I was going to say the Stars play 2 or 3 games maybe, and then let the rookies play the rest. It was little bit. I think the Stars when I played would play 4 or 5, but a couple of them were hurt. So the one year I remember I was up there. I had like 7 points in 8 games or something. Um, don't quote me. It was at least 5, and it was a slow scoring. I don't remember looking at it going, oh, I'm like third or fourth in scoring for the Habs in exhibition. Great. Now, of course, the boys didn't play every game, but they played a few. And I remember being like proud of myself. And, I always have that story. I'm telling it right now. So for me, and then YouTube, like you look at this fight with Steve Leach I had and the goal in Montreal, those are exhibition, right? But still, the forum was fucking packed. I get Ryan from Recchi and Turgeon, right? I have the goal call. Like it's so fucking proud of that. So it's awesome. But that's a selfish way to look at it. I think maybe if you're going to go with the same amount of exhibition, maybe have more of those rookie games and shit, or like really sit out a lot of because a lot of guys like are stars, but people that are there, say, but on the border, like Xhekaj, like Wi-Fi, Arber's Xhekaj in Montreal, right? I mean, he's almost been suspended twice this exhibition, but it's because people are like, oh, well, he's going to fight Ryan Reeves first game exhibition. What's he do? Or in regular season, he might, but like he was sent down to the minors last year. Like he's not guaranteed there. He's a name that we know. He's a household name. But if I'm Xhekaj, I'm going fucking nuts in exhibition too, right? He got sent down. He got a reality check last year. So, most guys out there are like that. And you could say he's an established NHL. I mean, he has a lot of games played for a guy that's still kind of on the bubble. Then you get guys, okay, you want to talk Toronto guy like Matthew Nyes, who's definitely there, but he's still like, we don't really know what he can do yet. I think after this season, you might, but he came in late in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Was last year his first full year? I think it was. If not, it was his second. He's out there. He's a big guy. Look like there's a lot of potential there. And I think I'm safe to say that he's going to be in the NHL no matter what. But for a guy like that, even, like I would want to be out there if I was him. Okay, I might be on the team, but I can spread my wings here. Who's not playing tonight? Matthews, Marner, Tavares? Okay, I'm one of the vets. Put me with somebody. Now you're going to see how I get to lead. You're going to see I'm going to be on the power play playing where Matthews played. Now here we go. You're going to see a little bit of what I can do. It's one thing to say it in practice, but even though exhibition, there's still games, and it's way easier, I think, to evaluate a player in games against NHL peers than it is like in camp for those kind of reasons. And even in camp, I'd go hard. I'd like to run Ash and stuff, but I really wouldn't want to fight him. We might laugh about it here and there, but I didn't want to be fighting him. And not only because it was my friend, but I don't want to fuck up my hands. At least in the exhibition NHL. Okay, this is on TV. You're gonna see me go. You guys know I fought Domi 3 times. 2 of those were exhibition. They're on YouTube. The Leech was exhibition. Let me think if there's. I know I had more exhibition fights. I don't know if they're on YouTube. Jeff Ware. There's another one. So it's a long. I don't even think I've answered your question yet, Howie P. And I have 3 more questions now. I got to go. One fucking question. So classic me. But I don't really have an answer. Is the exhibition season too long? I think yes, but I think there's ways you could tweak it by being the same length if they really wanted that. People are going to come watch anyway. Play Stars for less games. And really, it comes down to it. It's a physical sport, though, right? So unfortunately, you could call it whatever. As soon as the regular season starts, there's going to be just as many injuries. Like, it's going to be hard to play a game of hockey with hitting, even if you let up, without any injuries happening. I just find it, and you got to know that going in. That's it. And owners, if you want the gate, right? You want the gate, you have to be aware that there's a 2 sides of that coin, and a guy like Drew Doughty, a guy like Macklin Celebrini, unfortunate fucking first overall, or a guy like Patrick Laine might get hurt. That might happen if you're going to choose, to play them in exhibition. So that's it. It's not an easy answer, but for me, it seems to me most of the teams are playing their stars on the home games, which makes sense. But even then, I don't think any NHL veteran that's worth their weight at all should be playing like 6 or 7 games. I'm including Matthew Nyes and shit like that. And if I'm a guy, honestly, like Matthews or Marner or why am I only naming Canadian teams or anyone, fucking Matthew Tkachuk or Drew Doughty or whoever, I'm probably going to, if I'm ever going to pull the chute, that's going to be the time. They say pull the chute was like fake an injury. I always felt really, really bad faking an injury. Like, you're all paid to do something. And not that I ever faked one, but, you might have a day that you're kind of got the sniffles and you're like, oh, you really got the flu bad. Like if you really need it. And I don't remember taking them other than when I played for Michel Therrien because I thought he was a dick. Yeah, like anything at all. Anything at all. If my groin is a 2 out of 10 hurting, I go to the trainer, I'm Austin Matthews, and say, okay, I'm done. Right. I'm ready to go next week. Keep going on the 5 exhibition games left. Maybe I'll play one, maybe 2. Who knows? But I'm hurt. Right. Maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know. I don't have a solid answer for you, which is why it's taken me 20 minutes to answer a question that I still haven't really answered. But I hope I gave you some points that might help your argument one way or the other. And speaking from experience, like I said, it's not an easy answer. And it's fucking hockey. People are going to get injured. Okay, if you're downtown St. John's, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, why not? Check out Trinity Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, Martini Bar, Greensleeves, of course, the Bull and Barrel. If you're going to have a bite to eat, try out the Loose Tie, Blue on Water, and of course, Wedgwood Cafe, who also do catering. If you want to work out, strength, and balance for the body and mind, Ryan Power, Power Conditioning. And if you want to go to Mr. Lube's, 2 locations in Newfoundland and Labrador, or in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, that is, on Torbay Road and Kenmount Road. Chris Sparks, Mr. Lube, Live, Laugh, Lube. Pitbull Pain Relief, the pain sticks that just don't quit. Go to pitbullpainrelief.com, see what all that fuss is about. True Hockey, take what's yours. Of course, Muggsy Jeans. I'm going on a plane right now. I've got my Muggsy fucking jeans because they're comfortable. That's not an ad. I've done some stuff for them in the past, so I'm going to plug them. But I mean it. Ever get on a plane and you're like, you know what? I should have worn a tracksuit, and then I wear often a tracksuit on a plane for comfort. I'm telling you right now, if you want the best of both worlds, you want to look styling. Here they are, my Muggsy jeans. Look, stretch. They're unbelievable. Honestly, I could wear these as pajamas. They're fucking unbelievable. Muggsy fucking jeans. There you go. Be back in just a couple of days, folks, with more Tales with TR. Andrew Peters and John Nassimorasti coming up next week. And, of course, I will be in Kennewick, Washington to drop the puck. My alma mater, the Tri-City Americans, the Toyota Center, AMS versus the Kelowna Rockets in WHL action. Hope to see you folks there. And if not, tune in for more Tales with TR soon. Thanks for listening, folks. I'll catch you on the rebound.